Drag Race review. Wait, hold up. I'm changing the name. Oh, scandal. Welcome to the only Drag Race recap. Right now we are going to review season 12, episode 6. Don't even try to come for my nails, bitch. It is the middle of quarantine.
Coronavirus!
Things are going to start decrepitizing and decrepitorizing, all that. And as always, before we actually jump in, please make sure you click like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you can get information and notifications on content like this from The Only Productions. And make sure you follow them on social media. They are bringing you all kinds of juicy content during our quarantine. For those of you that are watching this during Miss Corona 2020. We are here at episode 6. There are 4 queens down. 3 queens down. And let's jump right in. So, episode 6 basically starts off with the girls coming into the workroom right after the elimination. Nikki's elimination, which is very dramatic and kind of sad. At least I was sorry to see her go. My titty hanging out? I hope not. She was sent home after a fabulous lip sync performance against Heidi. And Heidi actually turned it out. Episode 5 was definitely the most dramatic episode so far of the season, including the Untucked, which you have to have checked out. If you didn't, no spoilers, but honey, everything hit the fan. Everything hit the fan. I hit the fan. The fans hit the fan. It was crazy. Basically, the queens were coming for Aiden, saying that she was lazy, saying that she deserved to be in the bottom. Pretty much the same thing that we've been hearing all season. I think that there's a little bit of point to it, but it really starts to become a little repetitive. And Aiden's response was basically, look, bitches, let me be me. And when they send me home, they send me home. Until then, don't mind your business, essentially. And so we start off the episode 6 watching the queens basically sit around and debrief after last week's episode, where we get to hear Britta remind us again that she's from New York and that she's really talented, that she doesn't deserve to be in the bottom, and she doesn't she doesn't think that she should be in the bottom. And we know. After the queens kind of sit and listen to all of that, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time for, drum roll please, the Snatch Game. I mean, Snatch Game basically has come to be the moment of truth for the queens on Drag Race. And the queens immediately go into their bags and start pulling out and showing their wares, as they usually do. They talk about who they're gonna do, who they might do, who they're considering. Widow pulls out a wig and is kind of really upset that the queens don't know who she's gonna do. And I'm telling you, this wig straight up looks like a troll doll wig. Widow, I don't know why you're so confused because the girls don't know. Honestly, Widow, I get it. It's Tina. But I swear, Widow, if you had said, I'm doing Don King, I would have believed that too. Crystal talks about being somebody named Poppy who, like, I don't know who that is. Gigi talks about being a robot. I'm just thinking, gosh, pickings are really slim. You know, I mean, there really aren't that many girls that haven't been done or characters that haven't been done before we have to go back in and start recycling. I mean, look, girls are doing robots. Who? What? Who? So Ru basically walks through the workroom and tells all the girls just not to do who they chose. It's almost like Ru's job these days is to be like, who are you gonna do? Are you sure you wanna do that? Maybe don't do that. Like, that's basically what Ru's there to do.
Coronavirus!
So the Snatch Game ensues. I guess my favorites for Snatch Game are definitely Gigi, Jackie, and my bottoms for Snatch Game, probably no surprise, were Aiden, Aiden, if you're gonna choose, look, Snatch Game characters aside, we're not all pros, obviously. But if you're gonna choose someone who is from an iconic piece of cult hysteria, then I do think it's a good idea for you to at least know something about it. I mean, when Ru asked you about your character, you couldn't really say anything. When Ru asked you about Rocky Horror, you couldn't really say anything. Crystal, what? Girl. I have no idea. Now I have to look up who Poppy is. It's just, thank God that's over. And Britta's Jennifer Holliday, I do think that Jennifer Holliday was not that bad of a Jennifer Holliday. I mean, the laughing and she nailed that, but just not anything else. For all that are wanting to know, here's the clue. Pick somebody who has a really strong look. And then you pick somebody who has one or two sayings from a song that they did, if they're a singer, a TV show, that a couple of lines from some movie. And then everything else is just you making it up and being ridiculous. That's pretty much, I think, how you can win Snatch Game. Of course, I haven't had the opportunity to experiment with this, but I think that's kind of what it is. It doesn't seem to you like Britta is starting to emerge as the villain. I think Britta is sort of the unintentional villain within the show, not outside of the show in real life. Which is interesting because I know Britta personally. I think she's really, obviously, she's from New York. We know that she's Entertainer of the Year. And we know that she's a top queen. But she actually is pretty sweet and a really good person, I think. And so it's really interesting to see her emerge as the villain. So now it's time for the runway, which the theme is Frozen. Excuse me. And Jan is definitely dripping in something, but it does not look like icicles. Speaking of Widow, who had a really clever costume giving us the Titanic, but I was so distracted. As soon as Daniel said it looks like she's really into cruising, I pretty much lost it. I spit out my quarantine pizza because it did not look like icicles on Widow's face. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. It looked like semen. It looked like she had it looked like semen. It looked like she had a facial. Nobody said that? Anyway, Jackie and Britta had some great looks, but the outfits honestly were very reminiscent of some of past seasons. And that's not a dig on the girls. It just really means to show you that the girls going onto the show these days are using a lot of the same designers that queens who are coming off of the show have used. So of all the queens on the runway, I'd say that Crystal had the most original look. I liked it a lot. It was very Mr. Freeze. It was gorgeous. Gigi had the most polished look. It was adorable and very classic. And her waist is snatched. This bitch is thin. Damn! The girls walk the runway, and long story short, we end up with Aiden and Britta again in the bottom two. And this time, Aiden and Britta have to lip sync against each other. Britta pulls out a gorgeous, looks like flash paper, some kind of crazy magic trick, which basically saved, I think, the day. It might have been a lot closer had she not done that. But Britta, great job. Do I think Aiden deserved to go home? At this point in the game, I do. Someone's got to go home, and I certainly don't think that the other queens deserve to go home at this point in the game based on their performance. So now it's time for what I like to call What You Should Have Done. And that's basically where we give a little recommendation to some of the queens. And so this week's What You Should Have Done goes to Aiden. And I do think Aiden... your runway aside, I think your runway is all right, but what you should have done was actually just memorize the lines to Time Warp and recited those whenever Ru asked you a question. And, you know, you could have made it seem like you were stuck in a time warp and that your character, like, that was really the only thing we know her from. So it wouldn't be that, like, crazy to think that's the only thing she likes to talk about. And it probably would have put you in a safer position in the Snatch Game. Gigi won. And I think she definitely deserved it because that robot, as crazy as it seemed like an idea, it was actually a pretty good idea and she nailed that. I'll never look at a robot the same way again. So now based off the competition so far, the queen that I think could be the winner, who looks like she's almost a shoo-in and is pulling ahead, now I'm really looking at Gigi as a really seriously strong competitor. And a close second for me, I think, are Jackie's starting to emerge, and definitely Jada is still one of my favorites. Even though Jada hasn't had the strongest weeks, Lately, I think there's more left to be seen if the competition doesn't get the best of her. So that was basically the nice, sweet, and beautiful side. Side of things. But right now I'm going to toss it to my girl, Miss Tina, who's going to give you the shady translation. Take it away, Tina.
All right, guys, we're talking the runway, and I am so fucking pissed off. You know me, you know what a huge Frozen fan I am. I not only ran a fucking marathon, okay, it's on my Instagram, you can check it out, and I did a reveal on the finish line. But anyway, I love Frozen. And I love everything about it. I actually went to bed watching Frozen 2 last night because it's so good. Frozen. And also, I love Frozen because it matches my face. Not right now, though, because of the coronavirus. My wrinkles are starting to move. It's horrible. All right, let's talk about the outfits. First, we're going to talk about Heidi and Closet. She was serving me some pussy bomb girl, honey. Pussy galore. She looked gorgeous. There we go. Just, please. Heidi and Closet were serving you Bond Girl realness. That muff. Ooh, that muff was nice and poofy. It was a poofy muff. She looked great. I loved it. I thought it was a fierce look. Jackie Cox, that Abraham Levy. I could tell, honey, when she came out, that reflective. And I thought it was really well done. I liked the snowflake aspect of it. I thought it was a really creative way. Jada Essence Hall. She's looking like Storm got caught in a freezer. You know what I mean? Like, Storm got caught in a freezer and she busted out. She's like, hey Wolverine, it's me. Storm, wanna dethaw me? Miss Gigi Good serving you ice cream. Oh man, that realness. Listen, I love it. It is impeccably done. I love the ice cream cone. It's getting a little safe for me right now, Gigi Good. You did like a fashion version of Troop Beverly Hills. You're doing a fashion version of this. I think it's fierce as fuck. It's just, I want to see something a little different. I mean, I think it was a chance to really go full out fucking glam for me and not just fashion, but you look gorgeous anyway, and I fucking loved it. Yes, honey. I licked that motherfucking cone. All right, so Jan's Frozen-inspired look. Girl, I was loving it. She was giving me like the abominable snowman. Had a good time and just came all over you. I did like it was conceptual. It was different, and I love different. It was really well made, and I think she looked fierce as fuck. That's right, honey. She was serving you Frozen spermsicle. That actually made me gag a little bit. Made me gag. And then we have Widow. I don't know. Widow is feeling her offensive roots in this episode, honey. She's doing a Titanic survivor. I mean, that's insane. Like, if you know me, I like to push the button, but I don't know, sis. I don't know. Listen, I liked it though. I love that it was a period piece, and you said Titanic survivor, so that was good. I like the icicles on your face. I mean, it was creative. That's what I'm saying. I loved it because it was creative. But like a comedy queen, you could do something like this. I mean, on RuPaul's Drag Race, I thought it was a risk, and that's why I appreciate you more for it. You took 2 risks in 1 episode, girl. You're playing. You at Vegas. You gambling, sis. And I'm here. I'll double down. You know we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about Aiden's Frozen look. Like, if that is not the definition of like a fucking party store mask that you wore as a fucking necklace, sorry sis, this is RuPaul's Drag Race. Listen, I don't know what it was. I don't need to know what it was. And it doesn't mean that you can't love it and it's all your thing, sis, but I don't know what it was. And I didn't know your Snatch Game and I didn't know your runway. So, okay. Britta, I thought Britta's gown was great. I thought it was stunning. It was a gown. All right, so we're talking about the lip sync for your life, honey. Frozen, let it go, bitches. I'm gonna tell you what. Why? Why was there no reveal? Have you not seen Frozen? What is your motherfucking problem, sis? Y'all should have just known. You should have known. If they let you know, maybe they talked to you and they said there was a Frozen thing, I would have been like, Frozen. I gotta make sure I'm ready, sis. It was just, I love Britta pulled some tricks out. Britta was clearly the winner of this lip sync for your life. Shooting some fire out, I love. Shooting a little spark, honey. Aiden, listen, You got to the show, so for that, I congratulate you. I'm Tina Burner, and I'm the opposite of Frozen, honey. I am hot, because it's time to turn it and burn it, bitches. Feel the burn, and it's not gonorrhea.
Woo! Girl, she tore them up. Thank you, Tina. And thank you all for watching. I know that there is so many things you could be watching right now, so we really do appreciate you checking us out. Don't forget to click like and subscribe so that you can catch our next week's video where we review or recap episode 7. Thanks so much. I'm Peppermint, and see you later.